Tell me how, I got nothing to say. Tell me why my tombstone is blank. 'Cause I'm not the one who won't try. I'm not letting life pass me by. And tell me when the days are less gray. And tell me where is the road to less pain. How many days before I decay? It's getting so hard to get by. Where are all my trophies in life? And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Set to sail to a place I can't say. Live a life worthy of chase. The time is today. New blood in my veins. I won't be the joker in life, playing the part I don't like. And he hated the way he was dying.
My goodness! Where are my fucking glasses? I can't ride the dark horse without my glasses. Monday Night Raw.
Oh, but JD hates on everything, man.
Sorry, I have standards, man. You pores love to accept mediocrity. Not a bad show tonight. Listen, not a bad show. Not a bad show. The middle portion of that show tonight, man, a little bit too much fluff for me. There should be no fluff. The only thing I want fluff is my pillow. We'll reserve that for Friday Night SmackDown. Normally, it comes in handy over there. Little too much fluff. But Gunther and Dragon Lee. Best thing on the show tonight, man. Dragon Lee unmasked. A lot of unmaskings lately. Seems to be the preferred thing on Monday night. And CM Punk, he beats Roman Reigns in this round 2. Now they're 1-for-1. We're getting personal, man. We're getting personal. We'll talk about it tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the OTS venue where I don't hate on anything because I love you guys. And I love me a cold beverage. And when I get there on this Monday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for March 2nd, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement, especially where Roman Reigns is talking about mother's basements on Monday Night Raw. On this Monday evening, wherever you may be. You know, I can't post anything negative about WWE lately, man. A lot of people are up in their feelings lately. The slightest tone of negativity online is met with,
Oh, but JD, you gotta give them time to cook, JD.
Listen, bro, it doesn't take me long to cook a fucking dinner for two, okay? Give me a break. Anything negative about Monday Night Raw or WWE in general is going to drum up the virgins that Roman Reigns talked about tonight in his promo with CM Punk. But truth be told, the television show has not been good lately. And if you think it's good, you have poor taste. And if you think it's good, you're accepting mediocrity. And if you think it's good, you are the problem. Because WWE will never change because they are listening to people like you. With that said, Monday Night Raw, in my opinion, I enjoyed Raw better than I did the Elimination Chamber. The Elimination Chamber, these WWE PLEs in general, are nothing more than glorified Monday Night Raw shows. And they're labeled as premium, and there's nothing premium about them. There's premium commercials, and there's premium advertisements, but there's nothing about the on-air product that is premium. I enjoyed tonight's Monday Night Raw better than the Elimination Chamber because we started hot at the top, and we ended hot with Roman Reigns and CM Punk. We're going to save Roman Reigns and CM Punk for the ending. We'll talk about them a little bit later. They didn't really get physical. We got 7 weeks to go. Nothing physical outside of Roman Reigns thinking he had a mic drop on CM Punk, and CM Punk grabbed his arm, and he got the last word tonight, which was what sealed the deal. CM Punk won round 2 here against Roman Reigns. They are now tied 1-1. It's like two superstar boxers going at it. Roman won about 4 weeks ago. And then tonight, CM Punk won round 2. There was a couple of other, not really major things that happened on tonight's show, but 2 medium important things that happened on tonight's show that kind of gives us a little bit of a direction, a little glimpse into where WWE may be thinking and where they may be going heading into WrestleMania. I want to start with Gunther and Dragon Lee. That was the match that started the show off tonight. I don't know what Gunther's doing at WrestleMania. I've been predicting it's going to be Gunther and Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. It's the only thing I can think of. Tonight, I think we got one step closer to that actually being the case. Gunther and Dragon Lee put on a great opening match to tonight's Monday Night Raw. In fact, it was better than anything on the Elimination Chamber card. Not surprising. Gunther is great. No matter how much people dislike him, Gunther is great, and he gets great heat. And Dragon Lee is fantastic. Makes you wonder why WWE didn't actually put this match on the Elimination Chamber card to bring the overall rating of the Elimination Chamber up. I get that they need to save everything for television and they need to fill out these television shows on Monday and Friday, but I think more people are bothered by the 4-match PLE format than anything. Absolutely no excuses why this match couldn't be on the PLE last night or on Saturday. Regardless, they opened the show, great match. And it was at the end of the match that Dragon Lee was unmasked. WWE's got this thing about unmasking. Lately, it's their favorite thing to do, unmasking. We got ski masks and mystery men being unmasked. And now we got Dragon Lee getting unmasked by the hands of Gunther. Now, some people had a meltdown on social media that Dragon Lee was unmasked. And some people within the IWC, some of the esteemed journalists, were very trigger happy and very quick with the screenshot of Dragon Lee momentarily being fully unmasked. And you can see everything about his face that they rushed to social media to go post this for whatever engagement and whatever pennies that Elon is going to be paying them at the end of the month. It's kind of lame. I don't know why anybody would kind of elicit that type of behavior. And if you got shit on for it, I don't blame you for shitting on something like that because it's fucking disrespectful. even though it was in the middle of a match and probably has a lot to do with the story that they're telling. Gunther unmasked Dragon Lee. Sleeper hold. He didn't let go of the hold. And then the match ended. There was no post-match attack. There was no promo. There was nobody out confronting him because of his disrespect to Lucha Libre. Gunther used one of the cheapest tactics in all of pro wrestling. Wrestling a luchador and unmasking him to win a match. If this isn't headed towards a Rey Mysterio-Gunther match at WrestleMania, I don't know what is going to be the match for Gunther. The reason why they did that spot tonight was because that basically is the entire tale. Gunther's not going to be able to retire anybody else until Brock Lesnar or whoever else wants to hang up the wrestling boots. The career killer is going to have to go on the shelf for a little bit. That doesn't mean we can't kind of tweak that a little bit and disrespect in another way. So now he's targeting Lucha Libre. He beat Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee put up one hell of a fight, unmasked him, put him in a sleeper hold, and goodbye. I'm assuming Gunther's going to come out next week and gloat about what he did and disrespect the art of Lucha Libre even furthermore. And then out comes Rey Mysterio. I'm assuming this is where we're going. Is that your desired? Is that your preferred WrestleMania match? Probably not. But like I said once, twice, and every single time I mention him, Gunther doesn't have bad matches. Gunther generates real heat. Gunther generates heel heat. And he's going to do that in the best way possible with Rey Mysterio, because the topic of discussion means a whole hell of a lot to Rey Mysterio. And when you got someone like Gunther who's going to shit all over that, Lucha Libre, it's going to lead to a very good match with a lot of emotion. So I'm all for it. There really isn't any other way to go with Gunther outside of that. I thought what they did in the open was tremendous. The other big thing that happened tonight was Penta. Penta won the Intercontinental Championship. He beats Dominik Mysterio. Dominik was kind of in the same boat as Jade Cargill. Hasn't defended that championship since he's won it. And he beat John Cena for it at Survivor Series. I know there was a little bit of an injury that started in the beginning of December, second week of December. He showed back up in the Royal Rumble. Was he in the Royal Rumble? I don't even remember. Around that time frame. He showed up on Monday following the Royal Rumble. I don't think he was in the Royal Rumble. So he showed up legitimately about a month and a half later. Showed up when Liv Morgan won her Royal Rumble to introduce Liv Morgan to the world as the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time. Hasn't defended the title once. And it comes across Danhausen. Yes, Danhausen, the circus freak. Danhausen who got booed in Chicago on his debut. Danhausen, whose debut is being compared to the gobbledygooker as one of the worst debuts in WWE history. Why he got that spot is still very questionable. Why he got such big billing on the show is still very bizarre, especially on the road to WrestleMania with 7 weeks to go. Danhausen came across Judgment Day. Danhausen cursed Dominik Mysterio. He was laughed at. He disappeared. Dominik wrestled Penta. And Finn Balor. He didn't want to be out there because he told Dominik Mysterio several times, you got to do this on your own. I'm doing what I got to do on my own. You do this on your own. So he reluctantly went out there with J.D. McDonough to sit and watch Dominik win his match against Penta. Dominik found an opening in the match and grabbed one of the guys in the Judgment Day, J.D. McDonough, told him, go get me the bell hammer. Get me the bell hammer, and he's going to try and win the match by cheating, as usual. So Finn Balor sees this. He gets up and he stops J.D. McDonough from handing the bell hammer to Dominik Mysterio. Penta takes both of them out. One thing leads to another. And Penta ends up winning the Intercontinental Championship, ending this reign of terror by Dominik Mysterio. Finally, we have an Intercontinental Champion that puts the term fighting champion back in business. That title was doing nothing around the belt, or around the waist, rather. That belt wasn't doing anything around the waist of Dominik Mysterio. Now he's got the AAA Mega Championship. He's headed towards another match with Vikingo. I don't know if it leads to him losing that belt as well. Maybe Danhausen's curse is going to span multiple promotions. Or maybe Finn is going to stop J.D. McDonough from helping Dominik Mysterio retain that championship as well. But it's not about the curse. That was just a sly way to get Danhausen involved on Monday Night Raw and give him some 45-second comedy segment on Monday night. It's about Dominik and it's about Finn. Finn wanted Dominik to win on his own. Finn went out there with the Judgment Day and tried to do everything he needed to do to win by himself. What was Finn's words tonight, chat? I'm pretty proud about the way everything transpired at Elimination Chamber. He went out there. He came within an eyelash hair of beating CM Punk for the World Heavyweight title. He almost did it, and he failed. And then he shook CM Punk's hand. Dominik Mysterio, he doesn't shake anybody's hand. Dominik Mysterio will take the cheapest way out to get by and get what he wants. Finn is tired of all this. Finn wants the Judgment Day to be more like what he does. He sees all this nonsense going in and around the Judgment Day, and he said, you know what? Tonight's the night I'm going to step in and fuck that up. So this is step one. It's been years in the making. Hopefully we get a resolution here. Don't know where that's going to lead, but I'm hoping it leads to Finn Balor getting booted out of the Judgment Day, and we get Finn Balor versus Dominik Mysterio at WrestleMania. Other than that, I don't really know what else Finn Balor does at WrestleMania, and at this point, being that he's on TV every week in multiple segments, I don't think it's nice to keep Finn Balor off of WrestleMania. I don't think that's a good idea. So, Balor, Dominik. This is step one. What's step two? Maybe he aids in Dominik losing that AAA Mega Championship. Maybe he aids in Liv Morgan not getting the job done against Stephanie Vaquer. And at that point, a decision needs to be made. And possibly on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, the Judgment Day finally kicks out Finn Balor. Either there or on the road, which I'm hoping we get on the road, and then we get Balor and Dominik. But it's certainly being set up. Balor going single, Balor going babyface, possibly getting the Demon back, and hopefully we can put this Judgment Day story behind us, because it's been building for almost 2 years now, probably more than that. CM Punk and Roman Reigns, they were the closing segment of tonight's show. Round two, face-to-face. Some big bombs verbally were thrown there at each other. Femi and Rusev made official for next week as they had a face-to-face tonight, and they actually got into a brawl in the middle of the ring. And then we'll go over Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, which leaves us to Io. What is Io Sky doing at WrestleMania? I don't know if she's challenging AJ Lee for the Intercontinental Championship. She's in a gauntlet match to determine the number one contender for AJ Lee and the Intercontinental Champion. But I think I may have an idea. I don't know where WWE's mind is at, but I feel like Io Sky is going to be in something pretty emotional at WrestleMania. We'll go over what that is and go over the rest of this show tonight right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw review for March 2nd, 2026. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go and check out all the great content on the channel. We were very busy last week, including that Elimination Chamber post show. 62,000 views with almost 3,000 likes. You guys killed it on Saturday night. So thank you for the support there. So go check all that stuff out. Tomorrow night, the Solid Monster and I will be live with TNT Tuesday Night Titans, where we will break down the Elimination Chamber and talk about all the fallout from the Elimination Chamber. So that's going to be a great discussion. Join us tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Wednesday, I will be live with Jesse on YouTube, as always, with the AW Dynamite post show. And then Friday, there will be no SmackDown post show. There will be no SmackDown live stream. I will be in Chicago as of Thursday afternoon. I will be there for House of Glory. We have HOG Turf Wars on Friday night, Logan Square Auditorium. I'm hoping to meet some of you great guys out there. You guys and gals, some fans of the show. Hopefully you make it out there. It'd be nice to meet some of you out there. Saturday, I'll be flying back to New York City in the morning. And I'm hoping to go live sometime in the day for the SmackDown post show, because it's going to be a big SmackDown. They announced Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. So I'm assuming some major implications for WrestleMania will be happening on Friday night. But I will still have you guys covered. But no Friday night stream. House of Glory always takes the priority when they have a show here or elsewhere. So thank you guys very much. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. As always, any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, opinions, jokes, anything you want to get out there, super chats. Best way to do that. And tonight we're sponsored by Blue Chew Gold. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. 10% off your order of Blue Chew Golds. I want to thank them for once again sponsoring the podcast right here on Off the Script. Start at the top here, man. Monday Night Raw started things off in the ring with the Vision. As always, Vision starts us off. They had a rough Elimination Chamber. Logan Paul eliminated 3 guys in the Elimination Chamber, only to then be eliminated because of a returning Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman was in the ring with Logan Paul and Austin Theory. He introduced himself. He introduced Theory. And he introduced the most famous personality in the world, Logan Paul. Heyman said someone is supposed to welcome the people to Raw because they were here live in Indianapolis. Heyman says, we're here to talk about Seth freaking Rollins. Heyman referred to Rollins as the single biggest thief in the history of WWE. Before he could go any further, crowd interrupted his promo here by singing Seth's song, which he paused to let them sing. He says he hates that song and Seth Rollins for stealing credit for co-founding the Vision and co-founding the Shield. Heyman said his problem with Rollins is that he stole the Elimination Chamber, thus stealing the main event of WrestleMania from Logan Paul. Heyman said that the next time Rollins is in the ring, they will stomp his ass out. He says, that, for the record, is neither a prediction or a spoiler. It is a personal guarantee from the Vision. Austin Theory took the microphone and he got some promo time here. He says he wants to propose his theory. He looked angry, cutting this promo, as he said, he and Seth go way back. Crowd cut him off, chanting, you suck, you suck. Logan then grabbed the microphone and he called Rollins a scumbag. And then he started bragging about eliminating 3 people in the men's Elimination Chamber match. Logan said the rest of the show is not happening until Rollins comes out here to answer the vision. So he is therefore hijacking Monday Night Raw. Those usually don't go the way the hijacker wants it to go. So out comes Adam Pearce. He's out there with security. He says he understands it. He says he gets it. Pearce blamed the vision. He didn't stutter here either. He blamed the vision for attacking Jey Uso on SmackDown. Heyman says they didn't do anything to Jey, but he pleads guilty to what they will do to Seth Rollins. Pearce said, don't worry about Rollins. I'm going to talk to Seth Rollins. I want to talk to him, but I can't do it here with you guys in the ring. Otherwise, Seth Rollins is going to do something he's going to regret. Pearce then went on to say Rollins is not medically cleared to compete right now. All of a sudden, we get a masked man leaping over the barricade, and he was quickly chased out of the arena. Now, I knew right away that this wasn't Seth Rollins. Then we got a second masked man. He came towards the ring, and he was chased through the crowd by Logan Paul. A third masked man showed up, and Theory chased him into the crowd and out of the building. So if you are good at subtraction, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, the only two members remaining in the division, chased two masked men out of the ring as they infiltrated the ringside area. This left Paul Heyman all by himself. I'm assuming we'd see a masked man here engage Paul Heyman. A fourth masked man walked down the aisle. Heyman pleaded with this fourth masked man, and we see the crowd start to erupt as another masked man, a fifth masked man, shows up from behind Paul Heyman as he's entertaining the fourth masked man. Seth Rollins jumps onto the apron wearing a ski mask. He unmasks himself. The crowd goes crazy. He's got a steel chair, and he blasts Paul Heyman in the back with a steel chair. Heyman got on his hands and knees, begging for Seth Rollins to not go any further. And Seth hit him with a stomp. So they made a promise that they were going to stomp Seth Rollins' ass. And it actually worked against them. It was Seth Rollins who stomped Paul Heyman's ass out. Seth stood over Heyman, crowd sang his song, Rollins left through the crowd, and medics came to check on Paul Heyman as we go to the back. After a commercial break, we saw the replay of Rollins delivering the chair shot to the back, followed by the stomp to Heyman. Heyman had blood on his face. He was being helped up the aisleway. And in the back, Heyman was loaded into an ambulance, strapped to a gurney. He had EMTs surrounding him in the back of the ambulance. Logan, in theory, yelled at the EMTs to help Heyman. Logan went to go get the rental car. A black SUV rolled up. Theory thought it was Logan Paul. So out comes Jimmy Uso. He starts brawling with Austin Theory. He takes Austin Theory out and tossed him over some cargo crates. Jay walked up to the driver of the ambulance, who turned out to be LA Knight. So LA Knight said he's going to take it from there and yelled to the back of the EMTs in the back of the ambulance, "Don't worry, boys. He'll get the help he needs." Yeah. Ambulance sped off. Logan Paul is out. Austin Theory out. Jimmy Uso's back. LA Knight's driving Paul Heyman to the hospital, apparently, or God knows where. And he drove off with Paul Heyman. Now, I don't know where we're going here. I really don't know where we're going. This was a hot start. I very much enjoyed this. This was one thing that led to another that led to another. And we got the return of Jimmy Uso, and we got LA Knight back now trying to finish off business with the Vision. The Vision is finishing themselves off. I don't think we need LA Knight embroiled in the Vision nonsense. He's the odd man out here. I don't know where we go with LA Knight going into WrestleMania. He's a big question mark. We could still be on that road to LA Knight and Brock Lesnar. You cannot put that out and say that's not happening. The fact that he is now involved here, the fact that he drove Paul Heyman away in the ambulance as Paul Heyman was bloodied after a curb stomp from Seth Rollins, the fact that they now involved him again in the Vision business. Chat, you cannot disregard the rumor. You cannot say it's Femi and Brock Lesnar. You can't do it. Should that be the match? Absolutely. It should absolutely be the match. But with LA Knight now involved, it gives me a bad feeling, and I hope I am wrong, that we may be looking at LA Knight versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Because if he's back involved with the Vision stuff, Braun Breaker's out, Bronson Reed is out, what is LA Knight going to do at WrestleMania? He's got no clear direction. Are you going to leave him off the WrestleMania card? It's easy to say yes. It's easy to say yes when you got a Brock Lesnar Femi match. Seriously. But you can't put it out there as, oh, it's not happening. I don't know where we go. I don't. I want to think that with Rollins back and Rollins being integrated into the Vision stuff, there may be a small chance that Bron Breakker comes back and Bron Breakker is back from injury and we go back to the original plan of Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. I'm not sure if we can believe the reports and believe WWE and believe what they told the dirt sheets and whatever everybody else is talking about. Everybody made it seem like it was some catastrophic injury. Big buzzwords were used. Oh, career-ending injury potentially. Is Bron Breakker coming back to wrestle Seth Rollins? That's the ultimate plan. That really is the ultimate plan. Or maybe WWE goes in a completely different direction. Instead of maybe Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker, or LA Knight and Brock Lesnar, maybe we're looking at some sort of tag team match. Maybe we're looking at a 6-man tag team match. Maybe. I don't know what the Usos do. By the looks of things tonight, it looks like they may be setting up the Usos versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory for the tag team championships. You can't leave the Usos off WrestleMania. You can't. I don't know where we go. Because the injury to Bron Breakker is really the one thing that fucked everything up here. Rollins is back. Do we get Rollins and the Usos versus Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Brock Lesnar? Could be. Any other way around it doesn't work. Or maybe Bron Breakker is going to be back and they're keeping it hush-hush. Maybe we get Bron Breakker versus Seth Rollins, and then we do LA Knight, Jimmy Uso, and Jey Uso against Bron Breakker, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. Maybe that's the direction we go in for WrestleMania. Because you're either going to leave out LA Knight or you're going to leave out the Usos. You can't leave out the Usos and you can't leave out LA Knight from being on the WrestleMania card. LA Knight is one of the biggest baby faces in the company, whether you like him or not. And the Usos, they're not leaving Yeet Man off of WrestleMania. I'm sorry. I'm going to go out there and make a prediction that we get Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins for WrestleMania. Now, I know Lesnar, he put out the open challenge. Femi's the only one that makes sense to answer that. He's the only one that makes sense. So WWE, from what we got tonight, I feel like we're headed towards Femi Brock. I feel like we're headed towards Rollins and Breakker. And I feel like we're headed towards the Vision versus the Usos for the tag team championships. That's the only thing that makes sense. The only thing that makes sense. But a small part of me thinks that Bron Breakker is going to be back, and I think a lot of people that were reporting that Bron Breakker is out and going to miss WrestleMania, I think WWE is going to end up bringing him back, and he's going to be a big surprise on the return to WrestleMania. That's what I think is going to happen. The Usos have no other opponents that exist on the active roster for WrestleMania. It's easy to sit there and say Usos versus Lucha Brothers or Usos versus the Hardys. If WWE wanted to think outside the box and give us the best WrestleMania show possible, them versus the Hardys, that would be on the card. But we haven't gotten any indication about that. We've gotten nothing in regards to that. It's all hearsay. It's all rumor. It's all bullshit started by Matt Hardy. Lesnar, he asked for an open challenge, and he's going to wait for someone to answer the open challenge. It could be LA Knight. It's going to be Femi. It's the only thing that makes sense. Brock Oba. And then Rollins is going to wrestle Breakker. In my opinion, I think that's the way we're going. Usos and then the Vision. Could the Vision add another member? Maybe they add another member. And maybe we get a 6-man tag team match with LA Knight and the Usos versus the Vision and new member. LA Knight right now is the odd man out for WrestleMania, and I'm having a very difficult time of plugging in LA Knight to the WrestleMania card. So if you guys got a better idea, let me know. Let me know what that looks for you as far as LA Knight. But I like this opening segment. I thought this was a very hot opening segment, very hot start to Monday Night Raw, especially coming out of a very lukewarm Elimination Chamber. So they got the show started off the right way. I could see Ethan Page. In the Vision. I really could. And I know he just lost that North American Championship. There's a rumor that Heyman is calling Karrion Kross back to WWE. Yes, it's a rumor, and I have to believe it, or have to see it, rather, to believe it. I don't think that's the case. Let me know what you guys think about those WrestleMania plans. Certainly looks like we got tag team titles on the line. Usos versus Vision. I think Breakker will be back for Mania against Rollins, and then Lesnar versus Femi. Where LA Knight fits in, I have no fucking idea. I don't. And if they add another member to the Vision, maybe they do that 6-man tag team match with LA Knight and the Usos versus Ethan Page, potentially, or whomever that may be. Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Gunther. He went one-on-one with Dragon Lee. This was an excellent match. Excellent match. Gunther made his ring entrance, and Dragon Lee didn't even want one. He ran down the aisle and attacked Gunther from behind on the entrance ramp and started brawling with him around the ringside area. Gunther then sent Dragon Lee crashing into the timekeeper's area with a vicious back body drop. So we go to a commercial break, which there were a lot of commercials tonight. Felt like a commercial every fucking 6 minutes or so. So the bell rings. Gunther whips Dragon Lee hard into the corner. He fires off some stomps on Dragon Lee. He started to try and unmask Dragon Lee early. Lee comes back with some chops. Gunther then turns him inside out with a clothesline. Lee then drop kicks Gunther in the ring and looks to fly with a big tope suicida, but Gunther intercepts him and sends him crashing into the ring apron spine first. Gunther now is chopping Dragon Lee in the chest. Lee comes back. He's firing off some right hands on Gunther. Gunther comes back with a big backbreaker to Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee, once again, trying to fight back. He fires off a big overhand chop on his own, right to Gunther's chest. Gunther catches Dragon Lee with a big back body drop. Dragon Lee took out Gunther with an enziguri, followed up with a drop kick, and he is now wobbly in the corner. Gunther landed a pair of power bombs on Dragon Lee, which were fucking vicious. Like, Gunther's power bombs look like they fucking hurt. He then pinned him and decided to pull him off the mat. So you could see the disrespect that Gunther has for Dragon Lee here. He could have easily beaten him with the 2 power bombs. And he picked him up before the referee made the 3 count. He powerbombs Lee onto the ring apron and the announce desk outside. He then gets back in the ring. The referee begins his 10 count. Gunther decides to get back out of the ring and break the count, gets Dragon Lee back up. Lee manages to counter Gunther into his finish, Operation Dragon, on the outside. And it laid Gunther out right in front of the commentary table. Lee then delivers a tope suicida, sends Gunther crashing on top of the announce table. And now the referee begins his 10 count again. So Gunther made it back literally 9.5 as the referee almost counted him out. They're both back in the ring. Series of 10 counts from the referee didn't end the match, but Dragon Lee, as soon as he sees Gunther enter the ring, Lee levels Gunther with a big clothesline. Gunther manages to get a sleeper on him, and at that point ripped the mask off of Dragon Lee's face, and Dragon Lee tapped out. He had no choice. Gunther unmasked him, and Dragon Lee tapped out. After the match was over, Gunther kept the sleeper locked in until the referee forced him to relinquish it. I thought we might have gotten a referee reversal here, but Gunther, the damage was done with him ripping the mask off of Dragon Lee. So, again, great spot with the mask being ripped off. They went about 13 minutes, and I do believe that we may be looking at Gunther versus Rey Mysterio. It's the only thing that makes sense. So, in the first half an hour of this show, we have potentially 4 WrestleMania matches. Maybe. Gunther versus Rey Mysterio, I feel, is solid. I think that's the direction that they're going in. I think Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins is going to happen. I think Bron Breakker is going to be back in the next 7 weeks. Then we got the Usos and the Vision for the tag team titles, potentially. Or we don't do the tag team titles. We got LA Knight teaming with Jimmy and Jey Uso against Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and a new member of the Vision. Which, with the injury bug biting the Vision every fucking week, I don't think it'll be a bad thing to add another member to the Vision. Because I don't see the Vision going anywhere. Even after WrestleMania and after Rollins beats Breakker, I don't see the Vision going anywhere. I think it will be an act that continues on television. Not to the same capacity that it was when Rollins was the world champion, but I do think that they will continue on Monday Night Raw. Great start to the show. Great start to the show. Backstage, Asuka. She was yelling at Kyrie, blaming her for the loss at the Elimination Chamber. Why would Asuka be blaming Kyrie? Kyrie wasn't even in the fucking match. Kyrie cried, claiming that Asuka said she did good last week. Asuka yelled and shoved Kyrie before walking off. She stood there stoically and very kind of frozen, was Kyrie. AJ Lee walked up to her and asked, "Is she good? You can blink twice if you need me. I'm here to help." Kyrie stared off into the distance as AJ waved her hand in front of her face as Kyrie just stood there frozen. Eventually, Asuka yelled and Kyrie went to Asuka as she yelled for her as AJ shook her head, not understanding why. She's a glutton for punishment. You know, it makes me think that Asuka and Kyrie are going to be in something at WrestleMania. It makes me think that we will be possibly heading towards Asuka versus Io Sky at WrestleMania. And I know that gets a lot of people excited. They're eventually going to have to tell this story of Kyrie breaking away from Asuka and her addressing the bullying of Asuka. I know a lot of people want to see Asuka in a major program. I know a lot of people want to see Asuka back to that world championship level Asuka. I know a lot of people want to see Io at WrestleMania. I know a lot of people were upset when Rhea won the Elimination Chamber, theoretically leaving Io with nothing to do. I don't think they take the Intercontinental Championship off of AJ Lee ahead of WrestleMania. I don't. I think that would be foolish. I think AJ Lee's a big enough star holding the Intercontinental Championship for 2 months, going into WrestleMania. She's going to be a part-time champion. She's not going to make the rounds every single week following WrestleMania. She'll probably go back to part-time. She'll do that Roman Reigns-like schedule. She'll show back up for maybe Money in the Bank, maybe SummerSlam. Who knows? Who knows? Queen of the Ring? Who knows? I don't think AJ's dropping the title. I don't think. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We could, theoretically, get Io Sky and AJ Lee at WrestleMania. I don't think people would have a problem with that. That's not what I would do, though. I don't think that's the best match, the best use for AJ Lee in the Intercontinental Championship. I don't. I know a lot of people want Roxanne Perez. We haven't seen Roxanne Perez in a few weeks now. Supposedly she was injured. Hopefully she's back for WrestleMania. That would suck if she's out and she misses WrestleMania. And I know she's always wanted a match. She's idolized AJ Lee. The reason why she wrestles is because of AJ Lee. Roxanne Perez and AJ Lee at WrestleMania, I think that would be a lot of people's preferred match for WrestleMania. AJ, Roxanne. Io, Asuka. With Kyrie hanging in the balance. Kyrie's going to have to choose. It's going to be one of those situations where it'll lead to Kyrie splitting away from Asuka and then once again going babyface and joining Io. That's good enough for WrestleMania in itself. Io and Asuka doesn't need a championship. Io and Asuka doesn't need the Intercontinental Championship, though it kind of sweetens the pot a little bit. I don't think that is needed, and I don't think WWE takes the IC title off of AJ Lee going into WrestleMania because she's more valuable as the champion going into Mania and dropping it to someone at WrestleMania. Io Asuka doesn't need the championship. Especially if you got that Kyrie storyline there, tying both of them together. That's more of an emotional investment than the title is. And I think that's probably better off for both of them. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Roxanne Perez to get back. Now, Io is in this gauntlet match. Io is in this gauntlet match. Asuka is in this gauntlet match. These are two women that AJ Lee wants to get in the ring with. I would love to see Io and Asuka at some point. There's a lot of unresolved issues there. Story that's not completely finished yet. Maybe Io pins Asuka. Maybe Io gets the match with AJ Lee on the road to WrestleMania. Maybe we get Io versus AJ Lee for the Intercontinental Championship at Madison Square Garden. They're not going to crown a number one contender next week and then wait 6 weeks to do the match at WrestleMania. They're going to do it on the road to WrestleMania. Io, AJ, Madison Square Garden, Asuka interferes. We get Io, Asuka born from that at WrestleMania. With Kyrie being the one that binds both of them together. What AJ Lee does, I don't know. All I can tell you is I would prefer Roxanne. I know Roxanne's out. Maybe we get AJ versus Bayley. Maybe. I don't know. One thing I can tell you is I don't want to see AJ and Becky again. I don't want to see AJ and Becky again. I wouldn't be surprised if WWE runs it back for another match at WrestleMania. I just don't think it's going to hit any better than it did at the Chamber. You had the Shadow of Chicago. You had AJ Lee winning the Intercontinental Championship there. What does Becky Lynch do with a third Intercontinental Championship title reign? Becky Lynch should be in the main event scene. You went from Becky to AJ Lee. It's basically the same star power, if not bigger. Becky doesn't need a third Intercontinental Championship. AJ Lee taking the belt into Mania and dropping it to somebody is going to be just as good of a creative move that you could make all weekend. Becky doesn't need that. Now, I know a lot of people laugh. Had some people tell me nobody wants to see that. Becky doesn't need a WrestleMania match that's super big and on the grandest stage, the biggest match she can do. Becky's been and done it all. She's been in there and done it all. What the fuck does she need another major match for? Becky's value is greater than main event and all these titles that she could potentially win. I know a lot of people laugh at the Jessica Carr narrative. But don't you think if Becky Lynch was in the ring with Jessica Carr at WrestleMania, that it would be a decent attraction? How many people realize that Jessica Carr is actually a professional wrestler? Don't you think the crowd in Las Vegas, not knowing any of that, seeing Jessica Carr do a Hurricane Rana and these big flashy moves to Becky Lynch, don't you think that'll get a big pop in Las Vegas on WrestleMania's biggest stage? The story is there. The whole corrupt referee angle is there. Becky and Jessica Carr would be a fine attraction for a WrestleMania match. Especially when you got Liv and Stephanie, possibly Io and Asuka. Then the tag team championships, whatever that may be. Jade and Rhea. AJ and whoever she defends the title against. I don't need to see AJ and Becky again. I don't. WWE loves getting all their women involved. I'm giving you a way to get everybody involved. How many women's matches is that? You're looking at 3 women's matches over the course of 2 nights, each night. 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. WWE's got this big thing about how great their women's division is. Rhea Jade, Io Asuka, the tag team titles, Liv Stephanie, AJ and Roxanne maybe, and then Becky and Jessica Carr. 6 fucking matches. What more do you need? I think tonight was the first night that we got maybe a sliver of a direction for Asuka and Io at WrestleMania. Whether the championship's going to be on the line or not, I don't know. I don't think they take the belt off AJ going into WrestleMania. I think that would be foolish. Speaking of AJ Lee, she's in the ring in the next segment, cutting a promo. As the new Intercontinental Champion, she claimed that she doesn't know how they ended up here. She said she came back to snatch Becky's hair from her head and ended up snatching her title in the process. AJ said she wasn't sure if she could still go. Crowd was chanting, "You deserve it," and "You still got it." AJ told the crowd that they made her believe she could fight the best. She said Becky is the best, but she proved to herself that she's still championship material. This is her first singles championship in 12 years. Her first singles match on Saturday was the first time in 10 and a half years. AJ Lee said that with Becky behind her, WrestleMania is ahead of her. But she's going to be a fighting champion. She called out the entire locker room and asked them, every single one of them, to show her what they got, because she's going to be defending the IC title the next time she is in the ring. I think we'll see Io and AJ Lee at Madison Square Garden. Asuka will interfere. EO Asuka at Mania. What AJ Lee does, again, I prefer Roxanne Perez. I know Raquel Rodriguez was told by Liv Morgan, go and step up to the plate. I got Stephanie Vicaire. It would be great if I beat her and then maybe you challenge AJ Lee and win the IC title at WrestleMania and we'll both walk out of Vegas as champion. Earlier in the day, Penta was walking backstage. Gable Americano showed up to congratulate him on his IC title shot and said, when he beats Dominik, he's first in line. Penta said, zero miedo. Walked off and the rest of the Americano showed up. We got Ryo and Bravo and then Kaiser Americano. He's wearing all black to signify that he's the heel here in America, but he's very much a babyface on AAA. So apparently, they are doing this Americano versus Americano match on March 14th during AAA. Apparently, there's a big AAA show. And they're doing the match there. Now, I don't know if that's going to lead to one match and then the second match happening at WrestleMania. But I genuinely don't know where they go with either Americano unless it's in the ring together. We've seen the majority of this stuff play out on television, on Raw. So I would love to see this actually take place at WrestleMania and then one guy get unmasked, which would be Gable. Which ends up working out better for Gable because Gable's a fucking beast and Gable should be competing for the IC championship. That's Chad Gable. Kaiser lucked into the Americano gimmick with Gable's injury and he's killed the gimmick in a good way. He's killed it since he's put on the mask. We all thought it was stupid. This is what they did to Imperium. This is what they did to Kaiser. This is what they ruined with Imperium. But it obviously works out better for Kaiser to continue Americano because he's huge in AAA. And then Gable unmasks and we get to see the beautiful face of Chad Gable again and him hopefully winning some fucking championships. But that match should take place at Mania. Mask versus mask. Everybody loves to unmask in WWE. And then they won't do that match at Mania after months of television. I was kind of shocked to hear that it's taking place on the 14th. Hopefully they do it on the 14th and it leads to a match at WrestleMania. Yes, a bearded Chad Gable. So we got Liv Morgan. We got a video vignette here. She was backstage addressing Stephanie Vicaire. She told Stephanie that she doesn't know her, but she's right about Liv being privileged. Liv says she's a star and doesn't dwell on the past. Liv says she's a little bit of herself. She sees a little bit of herself in Stephanie. She's talented, she works hard, and is a great champion. Liv says that she'll give her the privilege of facing the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time at WrestleMania. I'm not really looking forward to the match, honestly. As of right now, they've done nothing to really generate any interest from me anyway. I'm expecting Liv to win the championship. I think that's going to be the whole story there. Liv maybe walking out with the championship, getting things done, and then Finn, obviously the loser of the group, he's looked down upon by everybody else, and maybe one thing leads to another. We got the Americanos once again doing battle. It is Gable Americano against Rayo or Rayo Americano. Rayo, Mayo, he's out there with Los Americanos. Bell rings. Both of these guys lock up. Gable rolls up Rayo. He kicks out. Gable takes him out with a head scissor. He then goes and exchanges rights with Rayo. Rayo. What is his name? Rayo. Gable levels Rayo with a cannonball off the ring apron as we head into a commercial break. Rayo whips Gable into the corner, chest first. Then they exchange right hands. Keep going at it until we get back from commercial. Gable fires off a right hand. Rayo is stunned. Gable follows it up with a Russian leg sweep. He then sends Rayo crashing into the mat, goes up to the top rope, sets up for a moonsault. Rayo tries getting his boots up, but Gable catches him in an ankle lock. Rayo then escapes, lands a Meteora on Gable in the corner, and they are on the top rope now, jockeying for position. Gable delivers a belly-to-belly superplex. Rayo responds with a diving headbutt on Gable, goes for a cover. Gable kicks out. Gable looked to unmask one of the Americanos, Rayo. Bravo stopped him from doing so, so Rayo then took advantage and tried to roll up Gable. Gable kicks out, delivered the chaos theory, very Chad Gable-like, and he got the win over Rayo. Pete Dunne. Bravo is Tyler Bate. They need tag teams in the Monday Night Raw tag team division, and they got Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, which, if you gave them an opportunity to tell their fucking story, would be a great babyface tag team. And here you got them competing as Los Americanos under a fucking mask. I genuinely can't wait for this shit to be over. I feel like I'm experiencing Groundhog's Day every week. It's the same shit every fucking week. I love Gable. I think Grande Americano is great. I think Kaiser has done a fantastic job. But, bro, I'm telling you, I am so ready for this shit to be over. Like, I'm legitimately ready for it to be over. Like, this is where I started to get that sour feeling watching Monday Night Raw. And this is why people, I don't understand why they complain when I complain. Bro, you're watching the same fucking show every single week. Nothing advances. Literally nothing. They tease taking the mask off, on to the next week. They tease taking the mask off, on to the next week. Do you enjoy watching a rerun every fucking week? Bro, this is the road to WrestleMania. We should be getting fresh. We should be getting progress. We've got nothing. But JD, why are you so negative? I don't know. Maybe because we watch this same match fucking all year long. It's March. Gable got back at the Rumble. We've seen it every fucking week since. Let me be tired of it. Seriously, you should do the same. Best in the world, Matt. I'm going to read this one here. He sends in a $10 super chat. Clarification. The match on March 14th at the AAA show, King of Kings, is not a one-on-one Americano match. It's a fatal four-way number one contender for the AAA Mega Championship with both Americanos. Oh. All right, so maybe they will save it for WrestleMania. Maybe they will save it for WrestleMania. Rusev calls out Femi. Rusev appeared out of nowhere at ringside. He jumped onto the commentary desk and he says he's tired of listening to everyone talk about Femi. I'm actually wanting to hear more about Femi and more from Femi. He says he's tired of waiting, and he knows Oba is here. Rusev told him to come out here right now. Rusev says he's standing on the table until Oba shows up. So Oba's music hits. He starts to play, or the music starts to play, and he's walking down the aisle. He strutted to the ring, chants of Oba. He gets in the ring. He's staring at Rusev standing on the announce desk. He's got a microphone in his hand. Oba told Rusev, come to the ring and make something happen then. Rusev smiled. He hopped off the desk. He walked up the stairs. He gets into the ring. They stared each other down for a little bit. Then they start exchanging right hands. Oba got the upper hand here and knocked Rusev into the corner, and he delivered his signature running uppercut. Oba went for a chokeslam. Rusev escaped and then delivered a big pair of roundhouse kicks. Rusev hit the ropes, but he ran right into a big spine buster by Oba. Oba then clotheslined Rusev over the top rope out to the floor. Rusev screamed in the aisleway, and that was the end of the segment. Now, I knew we weren't getting a match because WWE never books a match on the fly like this, especially with someone like Femi, where they're looking to drag everything he does out. I don't know how they're going to book Oba. I don't know how they're going to make Oba feel special. I don't know what their plan is for Oba. Fans love him. Oba should be at WrestleMania. You called him up, he should be at WrestleMania. A match with Rusev works because not only does it give him a great opponent to work with, who is someone that is legit, but it gives him a big win over a guy who can honestly match his strength. Two brutes. Now, I find it funny how Rusev asked for Femi to come on out and answer his challenge. Meanwhile, Brock Lesnar legitimately showed up a week ago, said the same thing, and nobody showed up. I don't know when Brock Lesnar is next scheduled to appear. I don't know if WWE is going to unveil the guy who's going to answer the open challenge on the road to WrestleMania, or wait till WrestleMania and just give everybody what they want there, drag it out and tease the fuck out of you. Because everybody in WWE knows the fans want Oba and Brock. And if the fans want Oba and Brock, WWE's not going to give the fans what they want because they never give the fans what they want. They'll drag it out and tease you. They'll cock tease you until Mania, and then they'll give you what you want. But Rusev called out Oba. Oba answered Rusev. Why wouldn't Oba answer Brock? Don't you think that makes Oba look like a pussy? We don't need Oba looking like a pussy. So if it's over the next couple of weeks, I would have Oba answer the call, build the match, announce the match, get the graphic up, sell some fucking tickets, and generate some excitement. I'm sticking with that. Do not wait until Mania. This Oba and Rusev match, by the way, takes place next week. Backstage. Lyra Valkyria and Bayley are backstage, and Lyra is encouraging Bayley to answer AJ Lee's open challenge. She said there was a line out of Adam Pearce's office with women signing up for AJ Lee. So Lyra convinced Bayley. Bayley wants Lyra to walk with her because she feels like Lyra also deserves a shot. So they go walk into Adam Pearce's office, and they see Io Sky walking out of it. Interesting. Jimmy Uso. He made his way out to the ring. He went one-on-one with Austin Theory. Again, I wonder why JD was complaining about the show. Austin Theory versus Jimmy Uso. Man, I can't wait for this one. This went nowhere. Bell rang. Jimmy fired off some chops to Austin Theory. Theory starts going and raining down shots on Jimmy. Jimmy sends Theory crashing into the announce desk. Everybody loves going into the announce desk. Then he sent him into the ring post on the outside. Jimmy lays Theory on top of the announce desk. He goes up to the top rope, and he wanted to do an Uso splash off the top rope to Austin Theory through the announce desk. All of a sudden, Logan Paul, he runs on out. Jimmy sees him. He lands a crossbody on Logan Paul, and apparently this ended the match. Referee called for a disqualification. This was the best decision that the referee made. Logan Paul and Austin Theory, they continued to beat down Jimmy Uso. Jey Uso's music hits. Got to give everybody the yeet. If you show up and pay money to sit there and you don't yeet, people may feel robbed. So Jey Uso's music hits. Everybody's yeeting. Jey sneaks up from behind with a pair of crutches. You know, because they took him out on Friday and eliminated him from the Elimination Chamber. So he hands a crutch to his brother. They nail both Vision members, and Jey lands 1D with Jimmy on Austin Theory. Again, we may be looking at the Usos versus the Vision for the tag team titles. We may be looking at it. That does nothing. Nothing, chat. Does that do anything for you? Does that do anything for you? Bro, I could go back to WrestlePalooza. What was the tag team match on that show? What was it? What opened the show? Besides, was John Cena, Brock Lesnar. What followed John Cena, Brock Lesnar? The Usos versus the Vision. We had Jimmy and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Bro, if you want to see the Vision versus the Usos again.
Oh, but JD, it's Austin Theory and Logan Paul this time.
Bro, I don't want to see anything Usos Vision related again. I don't want to see it. Does that interest you? No yeet. No yeet. That doesn't interest anybody. I don't know what the plan is. I genuinely don't. LA Knight right now is on the bench. He's getting fucking left out in the rain, and he may be shit out of luck here. LA Knight right now doesn't have a WrestleMania match unless we get LA Knight and the Usos versus the Vision and new member. They may have to add a new member. They may just have to add a new member. Otherwise, LA Knight might not have a WrestleMania match, and then we get the Vision versus the Usos for the tag team titles, man. That's exciting stuff right there, man. Holy shit, nobody wants that. Nobody fucking wants that. Bro, that's a Saturday night's main event match. That ain't no fucking WrestleMania match. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. Maybe they pull out Bad Bunny. Maybe they got the bunny up their sleeve. Who the fuck knows? Who knows? No, we're not getting Knight versus Lesnar. Nobody should be putting that out there in the universe, man. Nobody.
Oh, but JD, why did you hate on this show?
Gee, I don't know, man. That Jimmy Uso Austin Theory match really made an impression on me. Danhausen. He gives Adam Pearce a list of demands now that he's debuted with WWE. Danhausen asks for a blimp. Danhausen asks for a Hall of Fame induction. He asks for a Triple H pose with the finger pose. And he wants his face on all the production trucks. So he hands Adam Pearce a piece of paper. Adam Pearce looks at it, and it's wet. It's all soggy. Adam Pearce asks, why is this paper soggy? Danhausen says, well, I dropped it in the toilet before. They signed this guy to WWE for X amount of money to basically be the R-Truth of Monday Night Raw. Judgment Day walks by. Adam Pearce stops the Judgment Day. Hey, guy, where you going? Where you going, man? Introduce yourselves to Danhausen. Adam Pearce stops them. He introduces Balor, J.D. McDonough, and Dominik to Danhausen. He knows who Finn Balor is. He knows who Dominik Mysterio is. He couldn't remember J.D. McDonough's name. J.D. McDonough says, I already hate this fucking guy. And then Danhausen looks at the IC title. He looks to touch it. Dominik tells him, you're never going to get anywhere close to holding something like this. And then Danhausen curses. He curses Dominik. I put a curse on you. You are cursed. All of a sudden, they start laughing that he cursed them. They turn around. They turn back around, and Danhausen disappears. This was better than his debut. I'll leave it at that. Did Danhausen just curse Dominik Mysterio, losing the Intercontinental Championship? Find out next. Find out next. Rhea Ripley. She's out there. She's interviewed by Jackie Redmond. Everybody see Jackie Redmond tonight, chat? What do we think of Jackie Redmond tonight, huh? Is that a yeet or a no yeet? So we got Rhea Ripley out there. Not Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly also. But Jackie Redmond. She asked how Rhea was feeling about Jade Cargill. Now, this seems to be making the news, if I can find it. Let me go to my one of my esteemed dirt sheets that I constantly visit. Let's see if there's any news here. Apparently, Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill are going at it on social media. Now, I don't know what's going on with all of this. People are making this out to be a bigger deal than it really is. This is definitely following the Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton blueprint from last year's WrestleMania. So apparently Rhea Ripley responded to some recent comments made by Jade Cargill, the current WWE Women's Champion. Ripley published a statement on her Instagram stories addressing Cargill following an exchange on X. In the Instagram story, Ripley posted a message stating that the two are not friends and accused Jade Cargill of attempting to defame her character. She says, not having fun, not friends, learn to work, and never lie to defame someone else's real human character by breaking the fourth wall. So all of these interactions between the two began on March 1st, when Ripley won the Chamber the night before. Ripley initiated the exchange by tagging Cargill in a post that included 2 interview clips from 2023 and 2024. In the footage provided, Cargill referred to Ripley as a quote-unquote dream opponent. Cargill also described Ripley as a powerhouse who ragdolls people around, acknowledging Ripley's winning streak and stating that she was on top right now. That was back in 23-24. Cargill responded to Ripley's post by sharing a 25-second video from her appearance on the Beyond the Bell podcast. In the clip, Cargill held her WWE Women's Championship and dismissed her previous praise, stating, "I'd just be talking." Cargill accompanied the video with a caption that questioned Ripley's social media presence. She says, "Ha! I'd just be talking. And which member of our social team found that video for you? Because we know they always have to find a way to keep you on top going into Mania," Cargill wrote. Ripley replied to Cargill's post, focusing on Cargill's admission that she had just been talking. All you seem to do is talk, and that's literally it. Obviously poking fun that she doesn't wrestle because, let's be honest, Jade Cargill fucking sucks. Cargill then responded with an accusation that Ripley actively complains to WWE's writing team for preferential treatment. Talk like the hours you spend talking to creative, Cargill posted. Now, the interactions occur as both women prepare to face each other at WrestleMania, and as of tonight, announced that they will have a face-to-face on Friday Night SmackDown this coming Friday. Now, apparently there was a news report. I don't know how many of you guys seen this. Cargill apparently is facing some locker room heat. This has nothing to do with what I just read, by the way. This is coming from a Q&A from WrestleVotes. This happened today. They talked about this today in a Q&A session. They were asked directly about Cargill's standing backstage. WrestleVotes' response: there are rumblings that she has locker room heat. As far as the reputation in the locker room, we've heard from a couple of different sources that there's heat there. Not everyone's favorite talent. She's still a star. WWE clearly views her as a star. They're protecting her and not throwing her into situations where she can't succeed. But we've heard that some talent may not. This follows comments made earlier by Sean Ross Sapp during a Fightful Q&A, where he acknowledged that Cargill's name had come up in the locker room conversations following a string of injuries. At the time, Sapp clarified there was no confirmed blame or producer-level heat. He says, well, Tiffany hasn't wrestled the match with her as well, but I want to make it clear, I don't know if it was specifically spots that Jade did or negligence on her part. I don't have that information, but it was certainly discussed amongst talent and has been discussed among locker room talent. I didn't hear of any specific heat from the offers, producers, or anything of that nature. But talent definitely do notice the trend, and it does get talked about in the locker room, absolutely. Do I think Jade Cargill has locker room heat? Absolutely. Absolutely. For one reason or another. She's not very good at what she does. She hasn't had a fucking title defense outside the one with Jordan Grace in 100 days. Everybody knows she's not good, which in turn, WWE has protected her at a top level and not put her in situations where she's allowed to grow and get better. But yet she gets preferential star treatment and now is in a major match at WrestleMania for doing what? If there's anybody that doesn't deserve a WrestleMania match at this level, it's Jade Cargill. I don't mean that in a hateful way. I don't mean that in a way to disrespect her. I'm just going off based on what I see on television. WrestleMania spots should be the top of the top. WrestleMania spots should be reserved for the ones who embody WrestleMania. Jade Cargill isn't selling a single fucking ticket to WrestleMania. Everybody's going to be there to watch Rhea Ripley. Jade Cargill is just there, riding in the passenger seat. Nobody's giving a fuck about Jade Cargill in this match. They're all buying a ticket to see Rhea Ripley. There's not a single fucking ticket being sold to WrestleMania to watch Jade Cargill. Give me a fucking break. Do I think WWE is turning this into an angle? Yes. WWE doesn't allow their talents to go on social media and defame each other like that. It's all within the boundaries of story. I don't know what good this is going to do and how good of a story this is going to produce. The last time we did this, we had Charlotte Flair claiming to Tiffany Stratton that Kaiser was in her DMs. Meanwhile, we all found out that that was also a part of the show because it was included on Unreal. And in fact, everything on Unreal is scripted television. Triple H is next telling Tiffany, you got to go apologize to Charlotte. That's not how we do things around here. Give me a break. Everything that's on TV, Everything that you see on TV is in a controlled WWE environment. They had no story. They figured they blur the lines. They did it last year. The match ended up being fucking terrible, very forgettable, and they're doing the same thing this year. The same thing this year. And again, I'm going to reiterate myself from Saturday. I felt like they could have went in a completely different and better direction for WrestleMania. So, Rhea Ripley basically says that she will be on Friday Night SmackDown. She will address Jade Cargill face-to-face. She embraced EO and thanked EO for basically bringing her some peace and thanked her for her friendship. Thanked her for being her tag team partner and best friend. They got handsy with each other, which I'm assuming riled up the virgins on social media. EO said Rhea did the same for her. She said Rhea showed everyone why mommy is always on top. EO said she'd be fine on Raw. Rhea's going to SmackDown to handle her business and win the title at WrestleMania. And then she said she'll see Jade on SmackDown and she'll leave WrestleMania as the new women's champion. There you go. Let me know why you, let me know what you guys think about that. Everything is a work. You are being worked. Do I think Jade has heat? Yes. Yes, she's not good, and she's been given championship preferential treatment and protected while not being very good at her job. But WWE has done a piss-poor job of leveling up the women's division on SmackDown and have done nothing to really even supply that division with enough talent so that Jade may have someone to work with. It's a very difficult situation over it. It's a two-way street, but Jade isn't good. But WWE also at the same time hasn't done anything to make that division better. Main event. This wasn't the main event segment. This was the main event, meaning this was the last professional wrestling match on the show. Dominik Mysterio defends the IC title against Penta. Dominik hasn't defended this title since he's won it from John Cena at Survivor Series. So, everybody was looking for a potential title change here with maybe Finn Balor getting involved. Maybe we get a story from the Judgment Day to be born out of this. I'm happy to report that we do got some story here. We do have some storyline progression. So the bell rings. We got the big-time introduction. Penta delivers a hurricanrana to Dominik at the top, drop kicks him out of the ring, flies over the top rope with a tope con hilo over the top. Going to a commercial break. Dominik is in control here during the break. He starts throwing right hands at Penta, flies over the top rope and into the ring. He goes for a pin. Penta kicks out. Penta catches Dominik with a big sling blade. Dominik comes back with three amigos. Penta catches Dominik with a suplex of his own, and then Dominik tries to go for the third amigo, but Dominik responds by spiking Penta with a DDT on the ring apron. He goes for a pin. Penta kicks out at a 2. Penta sends himself into Dominik, and my iPad notes just crapped out. So, give me a second here as, I don't know why my iPad is about to fucking die, so I need to wrap this up quickly is what my iPad is saying. So, with the DDT on the apron, he goes for a pin. Penta kicks out. Penta sends himself and Dominik crashing into the timekeeper's area. Dominik continues to beat down on Penta. We go into another commercial break. A lot of commercial breaks tonight. Another attempt at an unmasking. Dominik attempted to unmask Penta. Everybody wants to unmask everybody. He rips at Penta's mask, stomps away on Penta, drapes Penta over the top rope, lands a drop kick. Dominik is sitting on Penta on the top rope. Penta fights him off and delivers a drop kick. He then catches Penta with the Michinoku driver. Penta catches Dominik with a Penta driver of his own. He goes for a pin and Dominik kicks out at a 2. Dominik then sends Penta crashing into the ring post, shoulder first. Penta starts screaming, my shoulder, as the referee attends to Penta. And Penta wasn't hurt. Penta was just selling for effect, which gave Dominik the time to go ask the Judgment Day at ringside for the ring bell hammer. So he yells over to Finn and J.D. McDonough, who is sitting by ringside. He wants the bell hammer. Referee's checking on Penta. So J.D. McDonough gets up. He goes, grabs the bell hammer. Finn Balor stops J.D. from handing the bell hammer to Dominik. Penta then flies over as J.D. and Finn Balor are arguing. He takes both of them out with a tope con hilo. And then he gets back to Dominik, hits him with an enziguri. Dominik sends Penta crashing into the ropes. He's setting up for a 619. Penta ducks, catches Dominik with a Mexican destroyer out of nowhere, and he beats Dominik, pins Dominik. 1, 2, 3, and Penta is the new WWE Intercontinental Champion. Fireworks went off. Penta got the big treatment. New champion. And it looks like Penta is going to be the Intercontinental Champion going into WrestleMania. Who does Penta defend the Intercontinental title against at WrestleMania? Intercontinental title's got to be defended at WrestleMania. If I can pick one guy for Penta to wrestle at WrestleMania, it may seem like a long shot. I'd love to see Penta versus Javon Evans. Penta versus Javon Evans for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. We'll probably end up getting a multi-man affair at WrestleMania because they love their multi-man matches. 6-man ladder match. More than likely taking place with the United States title. I'm over the ladder match, guys. I can't be invested in a ladder match. We've seen way too many of them, and it's just the same shit over and over again. I think Penta versus Javon Evans could be a sleeper match of the weekend. Build it. Young kid wants a championship shot. He's on the main roster. He wants a WrestleMania moment. Penta's going to be a fighting champion. What the fuck? Just do it. I don't even give a fuck, man. Just give me some great matches. It's like pulling teeth getting some fucking story that matters on this show. Just give me a fucking great match. Championship needed to change hands. Penta's the right guy. Dominik wasn't doing anything with that title. Roman Reigns and CM Punk. This was the main event segment of the show. Roman Reigns' music hits. He comes on out. He puts the one in the air, and we go into a commercial break as Pyro is going off for Roman Reigns. They come back from commercial. Roman Reigns is in the ring. He did his acknowledge me shtick, wanting Indianapolis to acknowledge him. Before he could say anything, CM Punk's music hit. And CM Punk interrupts Roman Reigns again here on Monday Night Raw. So Punk is in there. And he asks why Roman Reigns is out here mean-mugging him. Why is he staring at him? All angry. Punk was just feeding his ego and doing what he wanted. He wanted to acknowledge him, so he puts the one in the air. I acknowledge the tribal chief. Punk hoped Reigns would say more than acknowledge me because they pay a lot of money for one Reigns date, and that could have been a tweet on X. Reigns then asked Phil if his tweet on Saturday following the Elimination Chamber hurt his feelings. Because for a champion, it looks like Phil has thin skin. Punk said the tweet didn't hurt his feelings. He doesn't give a shit what people tweet. He doesn't give a shit about what people say him on podcasts. And he doesn't hold any grudges. shots fired. Reigns' tweet was accurate because Punk was tired. And then he points to the bags underneath his eyes. He says, it's a good thing Punk had bag under his eyes, he says. Good thing I had bags under my eyes because I got to carry your bullshit all the way to WrestleMania. Punk said they had history here in Indianapolis. This is where the Shield debuted and where Punk brought him to the dance. Reigns corrected him because Punk only brought in the other two, not him. That's shots fired right there. And that's a true story. CM Punk didn't want Roman Reigns a part of the Shield. It was Rollins, it was Ambrose, and it was supposed to be Cassius Ohno. It was never supposed to be Roman Reigns. Vince wanted Roman Reigns. Vince didn't want Cassius Ohno. Vince got what he wanted. Reigns was in the Shield because Vince wanted him in the Shield. So that was the line to me that hit the most. You didn't bring me up. You didn't even want me. Punk wanted Cassius Ohno. Chris Hero, yes. He wanted Chris Hero. Punk said they remembered things differently. If Punk didn't pick him, Reigns certainly picked Punk for the main event of WrestleMania. If you ask the fans, they would tell you I already won. The last time we were face to face, you told me that you hated me. I got you right where I want you, Punk said. I made you this emotional woman. Punk said he was in Reigns' head, as empty as it was. Reigns then went on to say again that he hates Phil. But if he didn't have the title, Phil wouldn't even be on his radar. Reigns said that they brought Phil back to the WWE when they did to entertain the 30 to 40-year-old virgins who live in their mother's basement. What a way to shit on your audience, huh? Is it true? Yes. But a lot of the Roman Reigns fanatics out there are 30 to 40-year-old virgins who live with their mother. They brought you back to sell a few t-shirts and maybe draw a house in Chicago, but not to be the champion. That's too much responsibility for you, too much power for you. That's way above your pay grade. Reigns is cooking right now. Reigns is cooking. After that Cassius Ohno indirect shot, Reigns is cooking. Reigns says we can't trust Phil to be a star because he's a liar. He lied to the people. He has them thinking that he was having a good time, that he is a leader, and he's smiling as he makes every town hanging out with my cousins. But we know the truth. My cousins tell me all about Phil's bitching and moaning. He wasn't CM Punk. He was just a punk-ass bitch. Reigns would end Punk's backup plan at WrestleMania. His backup plan is second time with WWE, second chance with WWE. After taking his title, Reigns would put him on the John Cena retirement tour. They would make as much money off Punk as they could until they sent him to NXT, where Punk would teach the next generation, until they sent him to the main roster so the Tribal Chief could snatch every one of them up. Reigns was about to walk away. He dropped the microphone. He thought that was the pipe bomb. He thought that was the closing segment. Goodbye. Punk pulled him back, grabbed his arm. Punk says, I didn't know we were done. Punk wondered who Reigns meant when he kept saying we. He's looking around. Who's we? You're all alone. You got some Tribal Chief goblins in your fucking pocket. You're alone on your bus. You're alone in your room. His cousins weren't with him. The Shield can't help him. The wise man's gone because I took the wise man. He then told Reigns, you are the one chasing me. I'm the champion. And Reigns is in the main event because Punk is the main event. This is my show. You were in the locker room, and I'm in the locker room hanging out with your cousins. You are all alone. Reigns could hate him all he wanted. You could love me. I don't give a shit. But you would not disrespect me. Punk took offense to Reigns retiring him. Punk says he's going to go until the wheels fall off. He said this previously. So he took great offense to Roman Reigns threatening to retire him. I'm not just going to beat you at WrestleMania. I'm going to bury you. And then you won't be all alone. Because when I bury you, I'm going to bury you next to your father. Well, you really want to make it personal. You bring up a deceased loved one. In this case, Roman's father. You're really going to make things personal. Punk slammed the microphone down, left. Reigns was uttering words to himself in anger. And that was the pipe bomb that CM Punk dropped on Roman Reigns. Again. A great segment. Again. It's the only thing that feels WrestleMania worthy right now. The only thing. I wish WWE would add layers to the WrestleMania card so that we may be excited about something else. Because they're doing a great fucking job with this. This is great stuff. The more you build tension between two guys and give us a narrative that they legitimately hate each other to a point where it's now degenerated into making it really deeply personal. That's what's going to make for a great main event. We're going to be in for an all-timer here. An all-timer. Reigns got round one. The first time they met. That Monday following the Rumble. The first time they met. Or what was it? The second week? Whatever. After the Rumble. Their first meeting. Reigns won that one. CM Punk won this one. They're now 1-1. They're tied 1-1. How many more of these are we going to get? How many battles are we going to get? It's like two heavyweights going at it, blow for blow, without actually throwing a blow. Fantastic stuff. Monday Night Raw was not that bad. I enjoyed it better than the Elimination Chamber, but I tell you what, chat, I want WWE to pick up the pace here. I know there's 7 weeks. You can do a lot in 7 weeks. You got 14 shows, 7 Raws and 7 SmackDowns. They can do a lot in that time. I feel like, because WWE's got an extra 2 weeks here, that they're taking their sweet-ass time. I wish we would see a little bit more develop for WrestleMania. I wish we get a little bit more just get up and go, a little bit more of a sense of urgency to get the WrestleMania card out there so people get excited. It's like we're waiting for the card to drop, and WWE is like, it's basically like a small leaky faucet drop. It's like, I'm waiting for WWE to give us something. It's not there yet, which slows the show down. Like, I'm all for guessing and coming up with great discussion and predicting what's going to happen here and what's going to happen there. But man, oh man, you would think that with their narrative of they're not selling enough tickets, even though they probably made more money this year than they did last year. They're 15 to 20% less than where they were last year, you know, with all the narrative that it's not exciting. There's no hype. There's no excitement. Second year in a row to Vegas. Tourism is down. People aren't traveling. You would think that WWE would want to give you a WrestleMania card. And it's like, bro, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? I just want something a little bit more. Open up the tap, says Ethan Nelson. Absolutely. Let that fucking beer flow, bro. Let it flow. Thank you guys for a great stream tonight. We had 3,400 people in here on a Monday night, man. You guys are fucking awesome. Thank you guys very much for all of your support. Follow me on social media. At JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out all the great content on the channel. We were very busy last week to round out February. Starting March off strong. Go check all that stuff out, including the Elimination Chamber live stream on the homepage. Go and check that out. Tomorrow night we'll be live with the Solid Monster for Tuesday Night Titans. Expect some great discussion and some WrestleMania predictions 7 weeks out. Hit that thumbs up. We need another 100 likes for 1,000 likes. Can we get 1,000 likes? 1,000 likes is the goal. Let's do it. Tonight, we are sponsored by Blue Chew Gold. Fellas, after a night like tonight, CM Punk just told Roman Reigns he's going to bury him next to his father. Penta walked away with the Intercontinental title after Danhausen put a curse on Dominik. This is WrestleMania season. This is main event energy. And if you're going to step into your own main event later tonight, you better be ready to go for the gold. Blue Chew just dropped something serious. Blue Chew Gold, the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. This is a 4-in-1 powerhouse. We're talking 2 ingredients that support blood flow to help you stay strong. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and can work in as little as 15 minutes. Full ignition. No wasted motion. No hesitation. Championship level confidence in a single tablet. Next time she sends that "you up" text, answer like a main eventer. Blue Chew's turning bedroom performance into an Olympic sport. Go for the gold. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. Special deal for everybody watching tonight's post show. 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code JD. It's promo code JD at BlueChew.com. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank them for once again sponsoring the podcast right here on Off the Script. Let's get into these super chats. Michael Krause, $2 super chat and a $2 super chat, 4 in total. JD OTS, how's everyone? Let's go. Yeah. And the crate, he says, became a vampire. LOL. Thank you, Michael. Tanmay with 74 months. Tanmay is the longest tenured member of the OTS VIP Club. Second in line is Stu Sexton. You guys are great. Thank you very much, Tanmay. Best in World Matt with a $10 super chat. Seth Rollins comes out to confront the Vision and says he paid Danhausen a lot of money to curse the Vision. Hope everyone in the OTS family is well. Very nice. Very evil. Love that Danhausen. You guys can love Danhausen. I don't see what value Danhausen brings to WWE outside of a business sense. He's going to sell a lot of merchandise for them, especially during Halloween. But he's basically there to be the R-Truth of Monday Night Raw. Bossmo Jackson with a $1.99 Raw, starting off with something worth watching for a change. Yeah, the show started off good. JD, again, I'm talking about what Roman said when Cody confronted Roman and Rock at the conference? You're just not getting it? What are you talking about, Cody? What are you talking about? Cody Snyder in the chat. What are you talking about, and what did I say that spawned that reaction? What am I not getting? Why are we talking about Cody? Why are we talking about Cody Rhodes? None of that matters here. Michelle with the $2 Super Chat. Hot opening. Looks like Seth will be a face now. Of course he's going to be a face. He was out with injury. He's going to come back and people are going to cheer him. Oh, not me. Not me. Oh, it's JDGE in the chat. I apologize. You guys have fun. Go ahead. Go argue amongst yourselves. Bossmo Jackson of the 199. Does Rollins have a new faction or is this a mind game? Rollins is the architect. Rollins is constructing a plan for the vision. Michael Krause with a $2 Super Chat. LA Knight driving the ambulance is cinema. Yeah. Bradley Robinette with a $1.99. Commercial after commercial after commercial after fucking commercial. Yes, a lot of commercials. A lot of commercials tonight. I thought they were going to limit the commercials. Thomas Malloy with a $1.99. When are you going to wear the Grande Americano mask? Maybe at WrestleMania. Maybe at WrestleMania. We'll see. Bossmo Jackson with a $1.99. It's about time Penta wins the IC title. Michelle with a 2. Punk Roman segment was outstanding. These two were fire. Twister 1296 with a $4.99. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. I am sold. Bro, we were sold the night after the Rumble. Illuminati with a $5 Super Chat. I'm sorry, but Dom getting cursed by Danhausen and losing the IC title put a hella big smile on my face. GG's Penta. I'm just glad the title's off Dominik. I don't give a fuck if Danhausen cursed him or not. Cody Snyder with a $2 Super Chat. Punk gave Roman some 2013 Punk. Holy shit. He did. He very much did. Caden Crawford with a $1.99. No message. Thank you, Caden. MGM Bolin with a $20 Super Chat. I feel like that would have been the perfect way for Danhausen to debut Hausen. Instead of the crate, it could have been JD McDonough trying to help Finn on Saturday night against Finn's wishes, and Danhausen comes from underneath the ring and curses him. Danhausen's debut in AEW was actually very good. And then they did nothing with him. The crate was a bad idea. Looking back at it, you know, sometimes you look back at something, it's just a bad idea. This was a bad idea. Boz on everything with a $4.99. And just like that, Danhausen is right back on Trackhausen. 1-0. Who's next, Hausen? You guys are fucking crazy, man. Mid-range with a $2.99. Punk buried Rusty Reigns. Next is Larry. Penta rocks. Bro, if Roman Reigns doesn't mention Larry, I will be highly disappointed. He has to mention Larry. In the next 7 weeks, he has to mention Larry. Tone C with the $2 Super Chat. Opening day is about a month from now. Go Tigers. I can't wait. With the start of baseball, that means the nicer weather is on the way. I can't wait. Hellfire Kai with a $5 Super Chat. What's up, JD? Did you watch the new Scream movie? If so, how do you feel about it? Stay lit. I did not, and I will not. I'll wait for it to hit a streaming platform, and then maybe on a random weekend where I have nothing to do, I'll watch it. Michael Krause with the $2 Super Chat. Do you think Seth is forming a new group? Thoughts, JD? No. No more groups. He may. I don't know. Listen, he may. Who the fuck knows? I'm done with the groups, though. I think Rollins needs to be by himself. Schnamtra with a super chat. Punk vs. Reigns in a buried alive match. Book it. Laughing my ass off. Hollywood guy with a $5 super chat. JD, how long do you give Danhausen going to main event as a jobber? I give him about 2 months. Then he will do the job. He's never going to be in the main event. He's always going to be a jobber. What you saw of him is the best use of him. It will not extend further than that. Salvatore with the $2 super chat. Maybe the text from Paul. Maybe Seth versus Cross at WrestleMania. You guys are really in on this Karrion Cross thing, huh? No, Cross is not coming back to the WWE. They already gave his gimmick to Zelina and Aleister Black. Michael Krause with the $2 super chat. Commercial after commercial after commercial. LOL. Lots of commercials tonight. Fast Daddy with the $4.99. Royce Keys added to the Vision. And you do LA Knight versus Royce Keys at WrestleMania. You want the Vision to add a 42-year-old Royce Keys. Doesn't really speak to me as the vision of WWE. I read today that WWE doesn't have a creative plan in place for Royce Keys. And that's from WrestleVotes. NM94, the $2 super chat. Phil has a generational ass whooping coming to him. Punk needs to retain at WrestleMania. If Reigns wins, it is a Netflix decision. Because I'm assuming they'd love to have Reigns as their champion. Sidro with a $5 super chat. Waiter asks, sir, how would you like your steak? I say, like winning an argument with my wife. He says, rare it is. P.S. If you come into Hog in L.A., let me know. I don't know yet, bro. I may have to miss that show. I may have to miss that show. I don't know exactly what I have going on that weekend. There's a family fucking thing going on. I don't know. I have no idea yet. Best in the world, Matt, with a $10 super chat. Clarification, the match on the 14th at AAA, King of Kings, is not a one-on-one Americano match. It's a fatal four-way number one contender for the AAA Mega Championship with both Americanos. Thank you, Matt. Palm Dini with a 99 cents in super chat. Thank you for your donation, brother. I'll be happy to hand that off to Jesse and put it in the tip jar. Mike Litteris with a $2 super chat. WWE doesn't sell out anymore. They just sell out. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Mike Litteris. Triple M with a $2 super chat. D2 creators paid Shield Marathon, or paid to Shield Marathon. Rest in peace, D2 and D3. Of course they were. Of course they were paid to Shield. I hope the game dies. Palm Dini with a $4.99. I've been watching your videos for the past year, and you have a great mindset when it comes to the business. Hope we can see you in the writing room one day. You know, Palm, I probably would never take that job. I don't want it. We got Mike Litteris, but we're looking for Mike Hunt. Where's he at? Mike Hunt has got VIP status here in the venue. Tone C with a $2 super chat. The Curse is one of my favorite Disturbed songs. My favorite Disturbed song is Stricken. Nathan Rush with a $2 super chat. I acknowledge Kathy. Yeet. That's a good one. I can't argue with that, brother. Yes, Gabe Owners is a good one too. He's also in a class of his own, that Gabe Owners. Micah Taylor with a $10 super chat. Feel weird turning 30 today, March 3rd. Nonetheless, the show has been my therapy from January 20, COVID times till now. Thanks for everything, big brother. From Jamaica. Big up. 1JD, 1 OTS. Saeed from Jamaica. Thank you, brother. That means a lot to me, man. More than any super chat here tonight, man. I appreciate that. Hope you are well. Hope you are safe in Jamaica. Living the life, brother. Happy birthday. Now, we never seen Dixon Cider before. No, we never seen Dixon Cider. He's never walked into the venue, that Dixon Cider. We're waiting for him. We're waiting for him. Mac Daddy with a $5 super chat. That Punk Roman promo seemed like a curveball to try and sell Mania tickets. No, bro. The first face-to-face was the selling tickets part. This is just building more intrigue to the match. J. Ray with a $5 super chat. People on X are literally calling for JD to take a break from pro wrestling due to his dissatisfaction with Raw. Boring and more commercials. Bro, none of these people watch any of the live streams, bro. They are mentally fucking retarded. Pardon my language. Fuck them. None of these people that complain about me watch a fucking thing I do. None of them. The Chamber sucked. What would you like me to think? Phil Illuminati with a $5 super chat. Chad has confirmed your iPad is cursed. Nathan Rush with a $2 super chat. iPad cursed. Phil Illuminati with a $2 super chat. I'd love Penta versus Phoenix. I'd love free Stop and Shop for the entire year, but we can't get what we want, bro. For Illuminati with a $5 super chat, who gets booed, Roman or Punk? You know, that's a toss-up. It could be either one. It could be either one. I think Roman may actually end up getting more boos than Punk. Robert Peterson with a $50 super chat. Hey, JD, I enjoy your show. Hopefully Mania will be a good one, as will Revolution. Keeping my fingers crossed, bro. We'll be live for Revolution right here with Jesse. Cam G with a $50 super chat. It's been a while, JD, just showing love. WrestleMania season doesn't feel great this year, but it feels great to be back watching you do what you do best. OTS for life. I love it. Cam G, VIP Cam G over here. Soundwave 80s. Did you ever play SmackDown games on PS1, 2, or 3? I did. Watson with 45 months. What's up, JD? How you doing, my friend? Massive pipe bombs from Punk and Roman. Stay safe, everyone, from Warzone in the Middle East. Thank you, Watson. Thoughts and prayers out to everybody, of course. 009.5. I think the whole creative team needs Blue Chew. Triple H specifically needs Blue Chew Gold. Thank you, JD, for doing what you do, bro. P.S. Fuck the haters. Bro, they watch, they comment, they talk about me on the daily. They don't watch the fucking show. They don't. Half of them don't. Cody Snyder with a $5 super chat. I should have clarified which JD I was talking to, but here's some more money. Cheers, dude. Bro, you don't got to give me more money. You don't got to give me anything, bro. Listen, I didn't know there was another JD in the chat. I would have not said anything. All I see is JD. I'm thinking, fucking Christ. What did I say now? Furious Nation with the 499. What's up, JD? Roman and Punk cooked tonight. Thoughts of one of them turning heel at WrestleMania? Congrats to Penta winning the IC title. Well deserved. We don't need a heel turn. We don't. The heel turn that we're looking for is either Randy Orton or Cody. That's what I'm looking for. Dave Scheffler with a $5 super chat. What's the difference between Saturday and tonight? That beginning was a nice twist with a fire ending along with a good IC title match. Raw was better than the Chamber. Chamber was fucking boring. Legitimately, just a bad show. There he is, JDGE with a $4.99. Do you think Roman would go as far as to bring up Punk's dog Larry after what was said tonight? He should. He should. That would be even more major heat to this feud. It should happen, and it should be stated. Yes. Furious Nation with a $1.99. Yankees take on the Giants March 25th as well. Venom Supreme with a 48 months. Kal-El, what's up, brother? Do you still have your first Mustang? Working on my second one and thinking about keeping the first one. Well, my first one was a red one. Traded that in for the black one that I had for 10 years. Black one gave way to the one that I have now, the OG, the gunmetal one, the EcoBoost, and then I got the Dark Horse. So I got the EcoBoost and I got the Dark Horse. Mustangs rule, Kal-El. Mustangs rule. You know it, brother. JDGE with a $1.99. Cody Snyder was talking to me earlier, by the way, LOL. Now I know. Now I know. Lauren with a 2. Punk defeats Roman at Mania. Roman will strike back. In my opinion, Punk should win at Mania. Furious Nation with a $1.99. Papa John's is not real pizza. It's not. It's trash. Furious Nation with a $1.99. Thoughts on Curse by Architects. Never heard it. Never heard it. If you guys are into metal, man, I recommend the new Silosis album. If you love riffs galore, Silosis, the new flesh. You'll thank me later. Venom Supreme with a $2 super chat. I like the Curse song from Killswitch Engage. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. Lauren with a $2 super chat. Double turns after tonight's segment with Punk and Roman. No. No. No double turn. Nothing like that is needed here. Robert Peterson with a $50 super chat. If those shows are not good, I want you to personally scream at Triple H and Tony Khan until your lungs fall out and both of their eardrums explode. Bro, if a show sucks, I will let you know. If a show's good, I'll let you know. If it's good, I'll be the first to tell you it's good. I'm very hard to please. That should be very, very satisfactory to you guys because you know you come here and I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass while everybody's like, oh, man, I love pro wrestling. I love all pro wrestling, man. I got to react to it. I gotta be all cool and positive. You aren't a real human being, man. Shut the fuck up and act like a human being. Nobody acts like that in real life. Nobody. Hologram, thank you for the recommitment, brother. I know you're not a new member with a Mustang emote next to your name. I don't know what the fuck YouTube does when it comes to that, man. You're not a new member. Hooligrim's a VIP, man. He's been drinking the fucking finest of cocktails in the VIP room for a very long time. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And Furious Nation with the 499 also thoughts on the recent incidents with the fan and Oba Femi not long ago at a recent meet and greet. Seemed kind of ungrateful from that fan. It's a meet and greet. You meet, greet, and say goodbye. Get the fuck out. You asking for them to do anything more than just meet and greet, you're to blame. They don't have to do a single fucking thing if they don't want to. Keep it moving. Thank you guys very much for all your support, man. I appreciate you guys. You guys killed it tonight. You guys fucking killed it tonight, man. Unbelievable stuff. We need 20 likes for 1,000. 20 likes for 1,000. I don't know what the fuck you waiting for 20 likes. 20 likes, man. I could piss out 20 likes. Come on, 20 likes. 20 likes. You know where we'll be tomorrow night, man? We'll be in the venue with the Solid Monster. Solid Monster's gonna have his Jack and Coke with him. Me! I don't know what the fuck I'm drinking tomorrow, man. It'll be something. Wednesday night, Dynamite. Thursday, I'll be in Chicago. I'm only there for 48 hours, man. I'll be looking for the finest coffee shops in downtown Chicago. Any recommendations are welcome. Where am I going downtown for the best cup of coffee in Chicago, man? You let me know. The more bougie and the more hipsterish, the better. Anyway, thank you guys for a great show tonight. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn the bell for notifications. Go check out all the content. And as always, we'll be live with the Solid Monster tomorrow night right here on Tuesday Night Titans. Until then, I'll see you guys later.